Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you like these reviews and you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe, because if you do, I've got more chances then of companies actually allowing me to review their watches, and that way I can get them out to you. So if you could, cheers. Thanks. So anyway, today we have this. This is my CIGA Design X Series Titanium. Now, I was lucky enough to pick this up a couple of weeks ago off one of the forums for an absolute bargain price. It simply would have been rude not to buy it. So I did. Now, saying that, even at the full list price for this watch in the UK, it is simply a bargain. It is a very obtainable watch at £299. And what you get for your money, I think, is amazing. But I do have to point out, it doesn't come on this very nice John Keeley vintage strap like this. It comes on you get three at the moment from them. You get the black silicone there, blue silicone, and this nylon. All of them have a very nice signed clasp. They all have quick release as well, spring bars. So, yeah, it just keeps getting better the way I see it. But I do like this. I got one of these off John the other day and I just think they look fantastic. Now, there's always two bugbears I hear said about this watch. One, the joke is always, well, what's the time? And I completely understand where you're coming from. It's not the kind of watch for clear, it's not going to be one of these watches you take a quick glance off and you can read the time. If you want that, buy yourself a Zin or something. But I find when you look at this watch, I can see it perfectly clear enough. And I find as well, you tend to view a watch a little bit more at an angle and then you can see the hands perfectly clear. So it's just with the lights where I film here, it's not quite as clear as what it would be when you've got it actually on your wrist. Now, I've had other people say, well, how do you even know what the time is because there's no hour markers? And actually, yes, there are hour markers. That's for 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get the idea. So they've nicely hidden that into the case. I think that's just really clever how they've done that. The other bugbear I hear people talk about is the size of this watch, because it's not a small watch. If I get the calipers out here, we are talking, let's get into that. Where are we? 44 mil. What's that? 45 mil. It's a nice slim, I think it's actually 11.5. 11.5. The lug to lug is 48 mil and the strap size is 22 mil. So again, you might be people immediately saying it's too big. But if you were to go out and buy an Apple iWatch, which, let's face it, I think is the biggest selling watch there is in the world, they are 44 mil, exactly the same as this, and they're about 38 or a little bit more than that, I'm not 100% sure. So it's about that width. So it's not really a big watch. It's not horrendously big, let's say. And the thing is, when you have this on your wrist, you don't notice it quite so much because it is quite slim, and also it's made of titanium. Now, already we're talking, if you get a micro brand and you have a titanium case watch, you're normally talking in the 5, 6, 700 range. And this one, again, is 300. It's, I just think it keeps getting better. The other thing, well, actually, a bit less about the case. Let's talk about that dial first. Now, we have these lovely polished hands. We have a needle-like second hand going around there. The hour and minute hands both have lume applied to the tips, and there is also lume in this blue anodized X going around here. Sorry, guys, excuse my hands, I'm painting again today. So we have lume coming around here. So it's a bit weird and funky. I was actually tempted on ordering some lume paint and painting a little bit in here, just to really, I think it would just set it off even better. So you do have a sapphire crystal on the front there, albeit I believe it is mineral on the back, but to be fair, I don't think that's going to be any big problems. Now, the watch is also water resistant, but it is only just barely water resistant at 30 meters. And let's face it, this isn't the kind of watch you'd want to take into a pool with you. So back to this titanium case. It's actually a two-piece case. Now, you can see a very slim shut line around there and around the side here. And the reason for this is another amazing feature. If I apply pressure on the bottom here, look at that, it has full suspension. I think, again, you're talking a watch with full suspension. That is really cool. I think that is, it just, this, everything about this watch is kind of cool. Even down to the use of the different types of screws. It's almost like a Richard Mille on the cheap as such. So I just think it's quite impressive what they've done. I even like the fact that they've got this kind of weird crown here where it looks like it has a secondary piece put over it so you can see the blue accents there. This isn't the only colour available. There are plenty of other colours available too on their website. But I believe the rest, I think you can get it in titanium as well in black PVD, but there are steel versions as well. As I say, this being titanium, on the nylon strap, it comes in at only 64 grams, or on one of these silicone straps, 78 grams, I think it is. So as we spin this watch round, just look at that movement. It just looks fantastic. I love the fact that you can hear that rotor spin. I like that. I know some people say, well, you shouldn't really hear it, but I think when you've got an automatic watch on your wrist, it's nice to kind of feel that every so often. You know the watch has got a beating heart, it's moving. Now, as for this movement, it is the CD01. Now, I believe that they collaborated with CIGA, and they've coming up with these movements. I'm not exactly 100%, but I know they do work with CIGA, so it could be, I don't know for sure. But it's a 40-hour power reserve. It beats at 6 beats per second. So it's pretty cool, really. It's a nice looking movement. It really does. What I like as well is when you see some more entry-level skeleton watches, you can see it's a bog standard movement, you know, just skeletonized, where this just looks, you can see it's something a little bit more special. It's not designed to actually go in a round case as such. It is a little bit more special. So yeah, I think it is quite impressive. As for timekeeping, I find this watch around about +6 seconds a day. So I was actually going to regulate it. So I started taking off these screws, and then realised you've also got to take off these screws, which is then starts messing around with the springs and the suspension. And I thought, I'm not going to bother touching that. Also, I don't have a screwdriver to adjust them. So a little bit of a shame. But overall, I think the watch is just phenomenal. I think it is an absolute bargain of a watch. It really is. I think that CIGA Design have done so well with this. They've actually been around for, I believe it's a decade now, and they've won numerous awards as a company with their watches, many Red Dot awards and so forth. So I think they're the first company outside Switzerland to win one award, and yeah, first Chinese brand to ever win that award. And I think, wow, and I can completely understand why that is. This is very impressive. I'll put it on my wrist so you can see it. As I say, I'm wearing a Zin U2. It's for 9 years now. It's not doing too bad. So let's put this on. Yeah, I just find when it's on your wrist, it's incredibly light, and because it's also slim, you don't notice it quite so much, and it just sits on there lovely. I've got a 7¼ inch wrist, and no problem at all. So, you know, when you think like this Zin has got longer lug to lugs than this watch. It's obviously a lot chunkier as well. It's still a 44mm watch. So I just think it looks absolutely superb. And it really is a talking piece. You can't help but people see it and just, yeah, can't want to know more about it. So anyway, there you go. That's my little review of my CIGA Design X Series Titanium. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you at the next review, guys. Take care. Bye.